What would you recommend to someone who's looking to get into raiding? I mean, if you're just now starting raiding, man, like, I don't know. To be honest with you, that's a hard question to answer. The biggest thing, I mean, like, it just depends on what level you want to get into raiding at. Like, if you're wanting to get into raiding and be, like, hardcore, what the fuck? What's going on? If you're wanting to get into raiding and be, like, super hardcore with it, the biggest thing I would say is just, like, you need to understand first and foremost you're at a serious disadvantage when it comes to like game knowledge and all that shit. So like start doing your homework as much as you can, start learning, start talking to people. At no point ever think that you know it all, because you don't. I don't know it all, no one knows it all. This game has literally an infinite amount of knowledge that like you can learn, you know what I mean? Like it's just, there is no single person that knows everything about this game. It's just not how it works. So yeah, just understand that up front and go from there, you know what I mean? Like pick a class, stick with it, read up on a lot of them, learn about other classes. Find a guild, support them, you know, like, surround yourself with better players. That's another big part. If you're wanting to get better, you don't need to be satisfied. You should never, ever, ever be satisfied. I don't give a shit what guild you're in, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying go to a better guild. I'm saying your performance. Never be satisfied with where you're at. You always want to be getting better. You always want to surround yourself with people who make you better, because when you're playing with people who also want to be, that's like one of the things that I really do think that separates us from a lot of guilds, you know. And I've been in, you know, I was in Forlorn Legacy for a while. I'm not sure if you guys know what that guild is, but just being around 24 other people in a 25-man raid that you know want to be there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to sell you, you know, oceanfront property in like a fucking inland state here. You know, there are people in this guild, in any guild, that want it more than others. But for the whole, or as a whole rather, you have people who, you know, you're surrounded by people who do also want it. You know, the baseline is what I'm trying to get at. The baseline is there. So we're about to go ham. Like, we're about to go ham. Oh my god. Hopefully someone's in that demo. I don't think they are. They're not. They are. What are they doing? Shoot the demo, man. Oh my god. Whatever. But, come on, man. Just aim it. Just hit the shoot button. Not bad, I don't think. I'll get a B-res. But, no, the thing is, like, you guys talking about egos? Like, okay, let's be real. Like, I've been raiding, like I told you guys, hardcore since like Burning Crusade. Everybody goes through that phase, man. Like, I was like, you know, low 20s or whatever when I started raiding. I went through that phase. You go through the phase where you think you know what all is going on. You're like, you start looking at other guilds' logs, like I'm better than that guy. You don't start thinking about, it's when you get more experience and more mature about the game that you start and just life in general, man, not just this game. You start understanding that there's a lot more that goes into it than just that shit. So, like, You know, you see people all the time, they're like, oh my god, I saw that guy's logs in Blood Legion, he's horrible. Now, sometimes, you know, you may be better, but, you know, a lot of the time, what I'm saying is, regardless if you're better or not, the point I'm trying to get across is, like, there's so many variables that come into play whenever you guys are making statements like that. It's just, like, people need to be aware of that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't just look at a log and compare it to your numbers in your raid. The strat may be different. So let's take this for example. Let's say that you're looking at Legion, right? Like, oh, I did more damage than, you know, Riggs on my monk on Legion. Well, it's like, okay, well, Gratz, your guild has overall lower damage, so the ads are up longer, which means the tank DPS is going to be a lot higher because he's being able to AoE with Vengeance. Just stuff like that. You know, I'm just using it as an example. It could be any fight with any class of any role. So, I mean, just keep that in mind when you guys are, you know, coming up through, trying to get better at raiding and things like that. Don't ever come across as that guy that just, like, has the huge ego, because you got to go through that phase. Everybody goes through it. I went through it, but just try to limit it. Like, take what I'm saying. Like, I'm speaking from real-life experience here. And like I said, that's not just a game. That's real life. Just get rid of the ego. It's one thing to be confident. It's one thing to be aggressive. It's one thing to be, like, abrasive. You know what I mean? But it's like, you don't want to be the guy that, like, can't be approached or something. Like, you don't want to be the guy that just, like being, and don't take that out of context either. Like, you know, if somebody comes up to me and, like, shit talks me, you know, I'm gonna, like, that's different, you know. But if somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey man, I noticed you were doing this is actually the correct way to do it, that right there, I could learn from somebody that just started playing the game last week. You know, I'm not gonna, but at the same, like, you know, like, take for example, we had, like, a teenager that was in the guild, and, like, he's being lazy during farm, right? He's making mistakes, he's making bad decisions, and instead of just, like, understanding that, and whenever I'm like, yo, you know, you need to stop being lazy, it's not okay to make those mistakes, you know, they're like, okay, they start making fun of, you know, they start giving me a hard time, like, telling me to shut up and things like that. It's not going to end well. So, I mean, like, you've got, I'm just trying to put it in context here, because you have people that take my attitude or my mentality and like, say that what I'm saying doesn't apply. What I'm saying directly applies, because it's like, I'm telling you having an ego is bad. I'm telling you to be disciplined, be you know, have responsibility, have self-discipline, all that stuff. But at the same time, you know, you have to be, you know, put a certain standard for yourself, like what you're willing to, you know, how far you're willing to push yourself and things like that. Okay? How do I feel about raiding with teenagers to begin with? I don't really enjoy it, to be honest. There are a few teenagers that do not act like that, you know what I mean? They act higher, you know, older than their age, which is a good thing. Real quick, does anybody know why these fucking debuffs are up here? Is that because I don't want them down here? I don't understand why there are debuffs up top. I don't get it at all. But, yeah. I mean, the thing with teenagers is just, like, they haven't been through the life experiences that, like, you know, to be like a raider in Blood Legion and shit like that, you need to be pretty well-rounded in almost every area. So, you know, it's very frustrating when you get teenagers in here who don't understand, you know, they've never had a job, they've never been in the military, you know, they've never, you know, been through a lot of, like, hardship, adversity, any of that stuff, and they want to come in here and expect to do well just because they did good on meters in their guild named Cool Whip or something, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they come over here and it doesn't really work out well because they make a mistake, and all of a sudden I'm in their shit and I'm like, hey, you know, you need to take responsibility for this. What's your problem? They get an attitude with me. It's not going to end well just because there's a standard in this guild. Everybody, like, you know, I'm pretty much like the only guy that's supposed to be being the asshole. Everybody else is kind of here for each other, and the only time I'm an asshole is during raids. Outside of raids, it's pretty chill. I mean, you can ask anybody that's in the guild. You know, we're here for each other. We help each other out and things like that. But, you know, you don't want to be that kid that comes into this guild that thinks they know it all, that thinks they're going to come in here and dominate. 99.9% of people that come in here do not dominate meters. We've had people that come in here that do insane numbers, but, dude, like, you throw a fight mechanic at them, and it's done. It's GG. It's over. Like, I mean, they die to everything. See it happen often. And it's not just that. It's like, say you don't die to anything on farm. Let's say you come in, you have to Blood Legion, you come in and you do work right now. You know what I mean? Like, you're you're just wrecking. Like you're taking names, you're a farm all-star, but progression rolls around and it takes you 5 times longer to learn a fight than it does, a Blood Legion, veteran raider. It's like, I don't. It's just like that's what matters. I don't give a shit how good you are 6 months into the content. That's not what helps me out. You know what I mean? Like I need you to be good 6 minutes into content. Like I need you to be right off the bat figuring out what your class is going to excel at, figuring out what your class can bring to the fight, thinking outside the box, thinking of strategy type stuff. That's the type of things that make people a good progression raider, not someone that's going to come in here and blow up the meters. Doing good numbers is also part of the requirement, yes, but it's not like, it's not the end all to be all. You know what I mean? Like you can't just come in here and do good numbers and think that you're going to succeed. You're not going to be able to come in here and be an asshole. You have to have good chemistry because you're around each other 14, 16 hours a day during progression, sometimes even more. And if you're someone that people can't get along with, yeah, it's not going to work out. I mean, that's just point blank and like as dry as I can put it to you. It's just like, yeah, so this guy is, I can send him this, I think, right? Yeah. But, I mean, hopefully that makes sense to people. I mean, I see it happen all the time, man. Like, oh my God, that fucking, that Shadow Priest in Blood Legion, I'm way better than that. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you're comparing the Shadow Priest in Blood Legion, who's like, the variables in the encounter. I don't know why I just took that res. I'm going to die again. This is white. But yeah, it's just like, the Legion thing is the easiest way just because it's the most straightforward. And don't get it wrong, man. I'm not sitting here saying we have the best players in the world at all. We have some of the best players in the world in each respective area, but like, a guild is never, ever, 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 ever going to be about the individual. Like, your success as a guild, and you can take this, it doesn't matter if you're hardcore rating or not, you need to understand this. And everybody needs to understand that. That's in your guild. You can tell them this. Like, your success as a guild is just, it's as a unit. It's not as an individual. Like, one person isn't going to, it doesn't matter how good of a tank I am. If I'm not trying to help the other people around me be better, if I'm not trying to, come up with ways to, help out in any way that I can, whether it's strat, whether it's, organization, whether it's discipline, the intangibles, things like that, it's not helping anybody else out. You know what I mean? Like, you can only go so far on your own. That's what I love about raiding the most, is, especially with 25, that's why I never really got into the 10-man shit. It just wasn't as, it just what, like, one of the things, it's probably because of my tenure in the Marine Corps. I enjoy the unit leadership aspect of this game. That's why I've did 25-man raiding since it's been a thing. That's why we'll continue to raid at like the highest bracket possible, which is going to be Mythic and Warlords and things like that. I mean, it's just, everybody has such, being able to get that many people to work together is so much harder than what people realize. Now, you take something like StarCraft where it's an individual, and I know I'm bouncing all over the place right now. Just go with it, man. I'm on a soapbox, all right? So grab some popcorn and hang out. But, yeah, I mean, like, StarCraft, that's on them. That's on the individual, and that's a completely separate skill set than what WoW has. World of Warcraft, I'm going to tell you right now, at a top, competing for world first level, and I'm speaking from fucking direct experience here, is like, for you to be successful at it, it takes a higher amount of teamwork, coordination, and like organization than any other game. Now, I really truly believe that. Now, you could obviously make a, I don't think I can do this again. I can't shield wall again. But yeah, I mean, like, there are very few games that have this much of a demand. Now, you're going to have people that are like, oh, WoW is easy. I cleared so-and-so content. Let me explain something to you right now. If you kill content even a week after the first time it's been killed, you're playing a different game. Like, straight up. Like, it's not even the same shit. It's like every week that goes by after a fight's been killed, it's not even the same, because every reset of gear, and I'll be the first to admit it, like, Method killed Lei Shin the reset before we did, and they killed the Garage, probably not that big. Lei Shin is a perfect example. The fact that they were able to kill Lei Shin the reset before we did speaks volumes to how much better they were than us that tier. I'm not like one of those people that's like too much ego to admit that. They were a better guild that tier, hands down. You know what I mean? And it's just, for them being able to do that shit, the reset before we were, it's a different game, man. Like, people don't understand that. They're like, oh, I killed this boss. It's like, grats, bro. You killed it 2 months, or even 2 weeks, or even a month. Whatever. Pick a date. Like, I don't care. Like, any amount of time that you've killed it after them, you've had videos, you've had gear, you've had strats, you've had the whole nine. You know what I mean? So it's like, you don't understand the amount of, like, organization, discipline, teamwork, coordination, and all that it takes to get these bosses down in the minimum amount of gear possible. If you accomplish something like killing an in-boss world first, whether it's Legion, Empress, Garage, Yogg, doesn't matter. You kill an in-boss world first, it's something that is like, it's such an accomplishment. And some people are like, oh my god, get a life, it's a video game. Let me explain something to you, dude. I'm saying this shit, you're coming from somebody, like, you know, I've been to Iraq, I've been deployed, combat situation, all this stuff, man. Like, anything that you want to do with your life when you're competing at like a world level, I don't give a shit if you're stacking cards. I don't give a shit if you're like throwing like balloons into a, or, you know, like whatever. You're throwing footballs through a hoop, whatever, dude. Like, you know, no one can judge what's more relevant than something else. Like, you could be someone that like builds ships out of toothpicks at like a world-class level, and to be that good at it, but there's, you know, when that many people do it, you know, it takes a lot to be able to succeed at something like that. And it doesn't matter if it's a video game or whatever hobby you want to list. You understand my point. So, and what I'm getting at is, like, you know, pointing out that stuff about myself is, it's like, you know, this isn't coming from somebody who doesn't understand what they're saying. Like, I fully understand the magnitude, the words that are coming out of my mouth. So, you know, let that soak in. Warlords, I'm pretty excited, man. I'm very excited about Warlords. I've got high hopes for the guilds. I'm honestly looking to pick up 2 to 3 Impact Raiders, and I mean people that come in here that know what's going on, solid rating, pedigree, background, the whole nine, and they're just, they want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they don't want to just show up to be in a better guild. They want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to come in here and make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what I want to pick up. 2 to 3 people that have that mindset. The ego, that they've lost that months, years behind. Like that, you know, I've well past dealing with people with egos. You know, the right mindset, the right amount of teamwork, the right amount of skill. I mean, because you'd be surprised how many times more than not, like, we get people that come in here that they've got all this. They've got all the intangibles. They want to be here harder than anything. But at the end of the day, man, you got to be able to put up the numbers. You know what I mean? Like, your ass has got to cash the check that your mouth is writing. You know what I mean? So, like, it's, you have to be able to perform on top of all that stuff. That's why it's so hard to recruit at a top rating level. It really is. Because you have a lot of these, you know, and on top of that, you got to have people that are able to meet the time requirements. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody wants to just, you know, commit 2 weeks at a time, twice a year. But, I mean, that's on them. That's a personal preference. You don't have to do it. No one's ever saying that you do. But, you know, this guild is, you know, that is a requirement for being here. During progression, we have a very small roster, and we need everybody to be reliable. You know, there can't be, and that's not saying you can, if you've got a job, you're disqualified. If you're going to school, you're disqualified. We have a lot of people in this guild that have jobs, go to school, and all that stuff. They really, plenty. We work around it. You don't have to have 100% attendance. You just have to have a very, 90% or something. I mean, you can miss raids. No one's ever saying that. So if you guys are interested in applying, you understand all this shit I've been talking about here. If you think this is a good fit for you, I'm telling you right now, make the jump, dude. Like, make the commitment. This is farm. This is the best time to do it. I'm not trying to, poach people from other guilds, but I'm telling you right now, take this from somebody that I was a GM of my own guild for, 4 years, and I was in Forlorn Legacy for almost a year, okay? The number one thing that I regretted more than anything is not joining a guild like Blood Legion sooner, because it is a completely different game. When you're playing with people that want to be there an equal amount, you're playing with people of roughly or better the same skill level as you are, and things like that. It's just, the game is so much different. It's just being in there on an encounter where the boss hasn't been killed yet. You know what I mean? It's just a certain amount of adrenaline, motivation, whatever you want to label it, man. It's just, it goes through the roof. It's knowing and racing, if there are any of the Method guys in chat, it's, they could attest to it too, man. It's just being in there before people kill it, us knowing that they're in there, them knowing that we're in there, things like that. You know, like it's, you know, the top guilds, it's kind of like swimming or golfing. Sure, you don't, it's not like football where you're out there like directly competing against each other physically. It's a lot more like golf. You're playing against yourself, but you're playing against other people at the same time. So, yeah. Holy shit, man. Like, what have we been talking about? I haven't even read chat. I haven't done anything. I've literally just been going. So I'm going to chill out for a bit. Let me read up on some of this chat, and we'll see what's going on. Is that Victoria or is that Alan? Tell me right now. If it's Victoria, I'll help you out. If it's Alan, not happening. What made me want to be a raid leader? To be honest with you, man, the whole raid leader thing, it's like almost anything that I really ever get involved in, I end up kind of like being a leader of some form, and that's just like an innate deal. Like, a lot of it comes from the Marine Corps, to be honest with you. The vast majority of it comes from the Marine Corps. Like, you need to understand, it's life principles. Like, the shit I'm talking to you guys about is not just game related. Like, if you want to be successful in something, take it serious. Like, you see all these people, they see videos of me, they're like, this guy's a raging lunatic. Yes, I have a bad temper. Yes, I get pissed off. Yes, like I said earlier, I've made mistakes. I'm far from perfect. All that shit, right? Like, that's not my point. My point is be passionate about something. Don't sit there. I'm not changing what I do, because I'm not going to change how passionate I take the game because some fucking kid on YouTube thinks that I'm too passionate about a game. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I guarantee if you follow that kid around, he probably goes and plays like Magic and like, you know, rages when some kid top decks and beats him, or he, you know, let's say he like races RC cars in his like, you know, youth club or something like that, and he gets mad when his like some kid trumps his like, you know, he's got like a 50cc motor on his shit and the other guy's got like a 10cc. You know what I mean? It's just like different people. You know, humans are humans, man. You're gonna have your interests. You're gonna have your desire to be good at something, and my whole point is like, if you find something that you want to be good at, take it serious, you know, push yourself to the limit, is, you know, and that's not just yourself, but the people around you. You know what I mean? It's just like, just make shit happen. Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. So that's just, yeah, that's the summary there. Yo, let's see some subs in here, man. You guys are getting the real talk right now. Like, this is Riggnaros' stream. Subscribe if you want. This is pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Full-time rating, streaming as much as I can. Please support me, alright? The YouTube vids, they come out. You know, and I'm not asking for you guys to give me money. If you want to donate, cool, click the shit below. If you want to subscribe, cool, click the shit below. But what I'm asking everybody, the donation shit's optional. What is mandatory if you want to support my stream is following me on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, man. That shit is free. It helps me out. Like, here's an example. We're trying to get sponsorships as a guild, right? We've already gotten a couple. We got Razor, you know, some other ones in the works, things like that. But, like, you know, the first thing they always ask us is, we need a listing of your Twitter followers, Facebook, you know, your social media stats. Because shit like that is, you know, that's what we are able to sell ourselves to companies for sponsorships and things like that. So, like, it doesn't cost you guys a thing. Go to my Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just hit the follow buttons, guys. That's it. That's it. So simple. It takes like 10 seconds. I don't give a shit. If you want to interact, if you want to ask me questions on there. I respond to tweets all the time, as much as possible, actually. Like, if I see you guys ask a question that's not like some dumbass question, I'll answer it. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys have, I don't give a shit if it's about real life, the military, tanking, raid leading, WoW, you know, whatever. I don't care. Ask it, and I'll answer it. You know what I mean? And Twitter is the platform that I do that on. Like, don't message me on Twitch. I'm going to be real with you right now. I don't look at Twitch messages because, like, 90% of it is just straight vomit. If you want to get a hold of me, hit me up on Twitter, and I'll answer whatever questions you have. All right? Let's see. I know there's some people in there that are like, whoa, this guy's really level-headed. I'm going to just let you know right now. I am not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. Go watch a video. I lose my shit. Alright? I'm pretty, like, I wear my emotions on my sleeves a lot of the times. And I am very, 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 very passionate about this guild and how well people perform. If I'm going to be a part of, you know, if I'm going to be a part of something, I'm going to make damn sure that I am giving any and everything that I'm able to give to make that shit be successful. So, I mean, you guys heard it here first. Like, I mean, like, I am ready for Warlords to come out. Alright? This guild is going to be better than it's ever been. Whether or not that's good enough to win, who knows? I'm not going to sit here and, you know, bullshit, troll other guilds. There are a lot of quality guilds out there. Method, obviously. Whole expansion full of world firsts. Paragon, a previous expansion full of world firsts. And, like, I mean, they even did their thing in 10-man, but, I mean, even they'll tell you, man, that 10-man competition is not even remotely similar. So, you know, that's, you know, they're gonna be a prime candidate. Stars, things like that. And, you know, people are like, oh my God, US gets an early reset. Dude, come on. Like, I mean, that is, like, such a marginal deal. And, I mean, like, sure, it's easy for me to say being from the US, but it's like, to be honest with you, you know, they get the extra day at the end of, I mean, it is an advantage in a way, but at the end of the day, like, once something's been out, like, let's say a boss is up for 3 resets. That advantage is, like, minuscule. The only advantage you're going to get at the end of all that is you're going to get that earlier reset, which, it's still an advantage. I'm not trying to diminish that. I'm just saying people play it up way more than what it is. Like, especially, okay, I'll tell you right now, what I would admit to firsthand, like, if I would sit here and I would be like, that is the reason that we won, is if we fucking, we're on an end boss, the same as, let's say Paragon, Method, Blood Legion, Exorcist, and Stars. They're all working on the end boss of the new Warlords tier, right? Let's say that all of them get there, the US has the first reset, we get back in there, rush in, kill it right off the bat, and then every one of them kill it the same day as their reset. At that point, the reset is the reason that we were able to get the kill first, period. We still had to make it happen, but that is the reason that we got it first. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same token, let's say that, you know, we kill it first, and then Exorcist gets the second kill, and I'm just throwing out numbers, man. Like, I understand how people troll. Like, just fucking hear me out. A hypothetical situation to prove my point, okay? Exorcist kills it, world second, 3 days later, right? So that's different then, because it's not like they just rushed in there and got the kill the same amount of time, if that makes sense to people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it still took them longer to get that kill, so that's why I'm saying, like, the reset isn't that big of a deal. The only time it's going to come into it is if they get back in there and get it done super quick, or, like, you know, if the time between us killing it and the other guild killing it is more than that reset, that's kind of when it comes into play. Do I wish Blizzard would make them all equal? Yes, but are they going to? I fucking doubt it. You know, and if they did, cool. It's not gonna make me any happier or sadder. But, you know, it is what it is, and we just have to deal with the hand that we're dealt. So hopefully that makes sense. You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, I want to raid there," but I'm telling you right now, man, it's a different animal when you're in this guild. You're on progression. You're making the mistakes, and I'm in your shit. I'm like, "Yo, you know, what's your problem? Why do you keep making this mistake? Fix it." You know, I'm not one to mince words. I'm not one to beat around the bush. You've got some guilds that, like, you know, they take people into another channel and they talk to them, and, you know, there's some penis stroking, and, you know, like, we're roasting marshmallows, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, you know, I'm going to need you to pick it up a little bit. Like, this just, you've died like 4 pulls in a row, and this is progression, and I want you to play a little better if that's okay." That shit doesn't fly here. Like, how this would go down in this guild would just be like, "Dog, what's the problem? Like, that's 4 pulls in a row. You fucked up the same thing. Please fix it. Is there anything that I need to do that can help you out? You tell me." I'm not being derogatory. I'm not trying to be an asshole. This is just like real talk. You are holding the guild back right now. Please fix your shit. And that's it. So you need to be able to ask yourself, can you deal with that type of criticism? It's not there to, you know, belittle you. It's there to circumvent wasting time and worrying about people's egos. If I made a mistake, I expect people to do the same shit. You know, and I don't care if you get mad about it. I would get mad too if I made a mistake. But it's just like, that is how it is. I don't want to waste 10 minutes pulling you into another channel, like, you know, stroking your dick because you can't be a big boy, and then just like, you know, and I mean, I mean, that's not gonna happen. If certain situations, sure, they're handled in private, but, like, you know, the general raid shit, it's like, okay, everybody's kind of on the same standard. You know, everybody needs to be dealt with differently, but at the same time, like, yeah, like I said, the standard is what it is. So, yeah. Victoria, you're the worst person I've ever met at responding to Facebook. I just want you to know that. Just want you to know that. Alright. Yeah, I appreciate the people subbing. Like I said, I'm going to try this new thing where I just don't do commercials. All right? I'm just not going to do commercials at all. But the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if you guys, you know, some people, you know, a couple people donate a few bucks. That's it. But I'm going to give that a shot. We'll see how it goes. If it's not working over the span of a week or two, I'm going to have to go back to running ads. But if you guys like the stream having no ads, any of that shit, toss some donations. Like I said, this is pretty much what I'm doing full time. Rating and streaming. Shit like that. So, yeah, if you guys haven't checked out my website, make sure to check that out. You can watch the stream from that. I get AdSense revenue and things like that. So, yeah. If anybody has any questions about maybe some shit I didn't cover, let me know. I'm probably gonna be done after I finish spoils here. Just to be honest with you guys, I'm gonna have to go out. I gotta get some food. I haven't even ate. I literally woke up. I had all this shit on my mind about my UI, and I was like, "Yo, I'm waking up and changing this shit instantly." And then here we are, like 5 hours later, or 4 hours, however long it's been. I don't even know. 3 hours. Time is irrelevant. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, some people like asking me, like, you know, is it okay to be like a confident, cocky person? Yes, it is okay to be that way. You will be able to succeed in a guild, but you have to be, like, you have to have good team chemistry. It's okay to know you're good at something. You know, I see people take, like, it's why context is, like, that's why I harp so much and try to go into such detail when I'm talking about this shit. Like, it's okay to be confident and all that, but you have to be able to work well with others. You know what I mean? Like, and not only that, but it's like, if you're going to come in here and, you know, if you're going to be walking the walk, you know, or if you're going to be talking the talk, you got to be able to walk the walk. Don't come in here talking all this shit and then not put up the, you know, put up the results, the numbers, the performance, all the whole nine. You know what I mean? Like, I see people that ask that a lot. All right. See quite a few people subbing. I really appreciate it. I'm not even joking. Yeah. So anyways, the whole point of this stream was more so the UI stuff. You guys got me to turn my camera on and getting all amped up talking about all this shit. I love talking about this stuff, man. I love talking about intangible shit because I feel like I know it. I don't even feel like I know that is what separates people from being successful at something. You know what I mean? It's like you have to be, you know, you have to want it. You have to be, it's all this shit we talked about. Self-discipline, self-motivation, work ethic, you know, chemistry, performance, skill set, the whole, I mean, all that shit combined into one. That shit motivates me to talk about it because I like finding people that share the same mindset as I do, that are committed to, like, you know, that's like, right now we're trying to recruit people. I'm going to be upfront with you. Like, I'm trying to find somebody that wants to join this guild that has that we're talking about here, okay? Like, I want to find people that have the it factor, and I want them to join because, you know, real talk, the United States recruitment pool for WoW rating is not even comparable to the European recruitment pool. That's not an excuse, and I will never use it as an excuse. That's a fact, okay? Like, we have there's fewer solid players here, so we have to work harder to find them and things like that, but that's fine. It's what we're going to do, okay? So, like, if you guys want to help out, and, like, I don't care if you want to be a raider here, go to bloodlegion.com, put an app in. But I'm telling you, like, all that shit we just talked about, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to deal with the environment that was described, with all of that, the requirements and things like that we mentioned. But if you guys, let's say that you guys want to help out, but you're not at that skill level, or you don't want to put the time in, but you want to help, like, you know, you want to help the U.S. get back, you know, or actually not even get back there. They've never been there. You know, I guess death and taxes, you could debate it. But if you want to help the U.S. get on top of the rating system, I mean, you know, Blood Legion Spec Ops, once we get a little bit more into farm, we're probably going to open that back up for, like, a community guild to help the guild. I mean, there's plenty of ways you guys could help out. Or even if it's just you don't want to do anything, you just want to support them, help link streams around, help follow, like, boost our, you know, subscription numbers and all that stuff. You know, whether it's Blood Legion, Riggnaros, Zoomkins, Absalom, the whole nine, you know, just like social media. Like I said, that helps us when it comes to sponsors and all that stuff. So greatly appreciate it. How many alts? I'm going to go ahead and, that's a good question. How many alts are required to be in Blood Legion? I'm going to answer this right here. You heard it from the horse's mouth, okay? A lot of people think, oh my god, you got to have 6 characters to be in Blood Legion. Oh my god, you got to raid 24/7 in Blood Legion. Like, this is how this works. To be in Blood Legion, the minimum requirements that you have to maintain are you have to have your main and you have a co-main. That's it. 2 characters. 2. Dose. Ni. You know what I mean? Like, Props is the first person that answers that. Ichi ni. Like, what language? Yeah. 2 characters. So, if you want to have more than that, it's encouraged, but it's not mandatory. So, let's say you're somebody that has a pretty full-time job, or if you have a full-time job, if you have a lot of school hours, something like that, you can't manage 4 to 5 alts, that's fine. You do 2. There's enough people in the guild that have more than that compensate. You know what I mean? So, you know, there are a lot of people that think different numbers, but that is you only have to have 2 characters in this guild, period. That's it, okay? Let's see. Another thing I was going to talk about is raid hours. A lot of people think that we raid a lot more. I'm telling you this right now. We go hard in the paint when the instance comes out, okay? We raid full time. I'm talking when the instance comes up, we raid until the wee hours of the morning. We take a nap. We get back up. We do it again. We do that shit. For this tier, it was 17 days. 17 days we raided pretty hardcore, okay? Like, the super hardcore hours, that's the first week only. So the first raid week, that Tuesday through Monday, you go ham, all right? Like, after that, it's like somewhat relaxed hours because people have to go back to, you know, school, work, all that shit. But outside, after those 17 days, chilling. You know what I mean? Chilling. So you're going to have people that, like, you know, my friend's guild. You know, he's like, they just finished progression. These guys are raiding 5-6 nights a week, 4 to 5 hours at a time for like 4 to 5 months. I don't know about you, but I know I would rather just front load the shit out of it, knock it out in a week or 2, and then be done with it. You know what I mean? And it's like, once that happens, you know, you're done. And once farm happens, we raid 2 nights a week. That's it. Right off the bat, it may be 3 just to get to the point where we're on farm status. But, like, you know, literally already a month in, we're down to 2 nights a week. You know, that's it. So 2 nights a week, 5 hours a night, and, like, do not press it further than that. And I just wanted to make sure that's very clear because there's a lot of people that don't understand, you know, the raiding hours. They think they're a lot more than what they actually are, shit like that. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear across the board. These guys gonna fucking heal me or what's going on? Alright, I want to be done after we finish this spoils. Would I wait 4 months for a girl to call you back after a first date? 4 months is too long, bro. Hang it up. There's more fish in the sea. Get another chick. Get another chick and make it happen. Oh, I can't open these yet. The first person that can accurately describe what I'm thinking about this stream right now, like the stream that we've had today, there's a specific phrase that I would use to describe this. I want to know the first person that can guess what I would say. Also, I'm testing stream delay. Spazzo! My man! Yo. Get dumped. That's that Blood Legion reaction time. That's what's up. That's that App War winner. That's why Spazzo won the mount this week. He beat out all the other trials. But yeah, good talk. Good fucking talk. Yeah, I want to get one of those t-shirt press things like Dan. Just make like good talk t-shirts. Watch, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and there's gonna be like a Reddit thread. Riggnaros is such an abrasive asshole. That's gonna be on Reddit, guaranteed. I was watching his stream and he's just ludicrous. He says the most rude and just disrespectful things. He treats everyone like trash. It's like, dude, I don't understand society, bro. It's like, harden the fuck up. Like, real talk. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to belittle people in any way. Like, at all. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. I remember that Reddit thread about me and that priest video, man. That priest video was bullshit. I mean, I was wrong. Let that guy get me way too mad, but come on. That fucking, people on Reddit, like, I don't even understand. Like, I can't even use Reddit with a clear conscience just because of the demographic in that shit, man. It's just like, holy shit. What do you guys think? I want to know. I'm curious what most people in this stream think. Because, I mean, like, I'm a firm believer that certain streams attract certain demographics. So I'm just curious, like, what do you guys think is what's the best way to put this? Like, what do you guys think about, I mean, what do people think about abrasive raid leading? We'll try to, this is somewhat of a open-ended question here. Like, what do you guys think about, like, abrasive raid leading? And I don't expect everybody in here to agree with it at all. But I do, I am curious to see, like, people's opinion on the matter. This mage is in here doing work. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, would you guys rather have, yeah, this is a lot more straightforward question. Would you guys rather have someone be nice or be abrasive and direct? Like, I'm legitimately curious. Like, I wonder what most people would rather have. Abrasive with results as a priority. I mean, that's like a Marine Corps thing, man. Mission accomplishment, then troop welfare. That is the agenda. That is no bullshit how you were taught from day one. Mission accomplishment, then troop welfare. Like, that is the, there's like a description for that, and I've already forgot what it is, but I do remember that's the two. So, like, I'm just curious. Does somebody in here have some balls and just say that I would rather have someone stroke my penis because I have a huge ego? Somebody in here thinks that, they're just not saying it. Everybody's like trying to be a hard ass right now. Yeah, let's get them. Let's win. Go Team USA. Everybody's in that mindset right now. Somebody, intestinal fortitude check here. Somebody just pony up and just, I have an ego. Please babysit me. There's somebody in this chat that fits the bill. Guaranteed. Yep. I knew it, David. All right. Okie doke, guys.
UD entered channel.
I am going to make one more change, and then I'm going to be done for a bit. But, yeah. At the end of the day, man, I really appreciate everybody watching, like, no joke. I got some subs today, so that would be, it's definitely good. It's always a good day to get new subs. But hopefully you guys learned some stuff, maybe not necessarily important stuff, and maybe you learn a little bit about me, maybe you learn a little bit about, you know, Blood Legion, maybe you learn a little bit about raiding, raid leading, the military. I mean, who knows, man. Hopefully you learned something. All right, but I'm out. I just want to leave you guys with this. I'm trying to figure out the best way to summarize this. Just be part of the solution, not part of the problem, and that's just in life, man. I guess that's the best way I can put it, okay? Like, I don't care what you're doing, just make sure that you're doing your part to be part of the solution and not part of the problem, okay? But, yeah, that's it. The stream's not always this, you know, interactive. I'm gonna be real with you guys. You know, sometimes I'm streaming, I'm raiding, and I'm just focused on the raid, and I don't read stream chat, I don't talk to people much, but from time to time, you know, we have some sit-down, heart-to-hearts like this, but, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys, like I said, if you want to do me a favor, please subscribe. That greatly helps me. If you don't want to sub any type of recurring shit, hit that donate button. But at a minimum, please, everyone in this bitch, please follow me on all my social media stuff. It's free. It takes 10 seconds. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Please, please, please. All right? Really appreciate it. Thanks for the stream. I'll be back on maybe later on. I'm going to have this UI, up sometime this coming week. Try to on Tuesday. But, yeah, appreciate all the people helping me out with the week orders and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it, man. Appreciate it. I'm out. Good talk.